I don't want to make any claim there and then it not be true. All right, the dogs are in a fight. Everybody's playing around. Everybody's messing around. The dogs are wishing that they were chasing Schimmel's chickens. I got an update on Schimmel's chickens, too. Okay. Day 2 of the streamlined edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast, where I am on a strict schedule. The idea is get the podcasting done and posted, cutting corners where necessary, getting all that stuff up, ready to go, and then 12 hours of shuttling people to and from a hotel to various hospitals. That is the part-time job, the 2-week full-time job that I agreed to take on with my friends at Affordable Limousine. You might hear the dogs carrying on behind me. It looks like Bruce is getting humped by O'Neill. It's not. They play pretty vigorously. These two are just best buddies. You might even hear O'Neill doing the Chewbacca sound effects. Our morning is all topsy-turvy today because in order for me to get this show done today, I had to call on some assists because normally I get up and I'm up at 6. I'm making lunches for the girls for work and school, and I got to take the dogs out, and then all that stuff. It's part of the ritual. But since I didn't get into bed till after 1 a.m. this morning because of limo work, excuse me, I had Diana help me, and she did me a solid and did all this stuff for me ahead of time. These dogs will calm down in a minute. I for the people that enjoy the podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, they're not even paying attention to one thing I'm saying because these two dogs are hilarious as they beat each other up. I think now they're starting to chill. It looks like O'Neill is licking Bruce's face, which means they're winding down. Like, hey, sorry I bit you there that one time. Let's sleep for a few minutes. So I think that's where they are. So Diana had to help me. She had to pack lunches last night, and I slept in till 7 a.m. How about that? To try to somehow find a balance to get this podcast done with some degree of sensibility, and I'm not like a complete zombie acting like an idiot. And then because of then that would also compromise my ability to focus on the road. Ultimately here, if I'm spending 12 of 24 hours a day for the next 2 weeks, driving precious cargo, that is the people that I'm taking from the hotels to the hospitals in this limo job, I can't be nodding off at the wheel and all the lane departure alarms are going off and people are like, oh God, no, please. I don't want anything bad to happen. I got to stay alert and focused. But I tell you what, not a bad start. I'll probably touch more on that in a second, but I wanted to get to this as quickly as possible because I'd like to pose to the world what I have planned for the show, at least on the first segment on the open, and I try to get to it as quickly as possible. I don't want if for whatever reason when you see on Facebook, Twitter, and Periscope that I'm going to be playing my 911 call, my latest one, I want to get to that relatively quickly. So I don't want you waiting for it. So as you know, my neighbor, her mother and father are at her house quite a bit. And the dude went down in the driveway, and I discovered this when I was taking the 4 dogs for a walk. And as the story goes, he could not get up. He's a big boy, and he's had a couple of issues. So he's laying in the middle of the driveway. His wife can't help him. So, of course, Johnny on the spot. Here comes Eric. Do you need help? Yes. Okay, I'll help you. I tie the dogs up. And long story short, I could not get him up because it was crazy. I told this story before. I got behind him, put my arms underneath his armpits. I was just going to squat him up like an NFL lineman. I didn't realize when he's on the ground. I couldn't really tell the the amount of, like, his weight. And like I said, he's 3 bills. And when I went to stand up, he didn't move. And I was like, oh, my God, I bit off more than I could chew. Ultimately, he did get up. But there was a 911 call made to my friends at Ottawa County. And I bet you want to hear that. Now, I've only listened to part of this once. So this is my latest 911 call.
Ottawa 911.
Hey, I was walking my dog, and this elderly gentleman, heavy, went down. I'm trying to get him up. I can't do it. I need help.
Okay. Yeah, what is the address you're in front of?
Let me get closer to it.
I can't see. As you know, I'm blind now.
Okay.
I was banging on doors. I can't get anybody to open. Everyone's at work. You know?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll send you some help.
Hold on.
Okay.
She's like, it's Eric again.
Dog, just hang on, buddy.
This dude.
4388.
4388, and is it?
Oh, well, hold on a second. He's trying to get up. Hang on.
Okay.
Doug, I got help coming. What are you thinking? Get on this. Okay. Okay.
Does he still want help?
No. All right. Okay, buddy. Okay, take a breath.
Did he get up?
Doug did make it up.
Okay. Is he? Can you ask him if he's? Okay. Does he want an ambulance, or do you want me to hold off for now? And
No. I was only calling to get help getting him up.
Okay.
He got it.
Okay, perfect. If you change your mind, call us back, okay?
Yep, cancel that. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye.
Oh, I think, I don't know how many that is now. I had the 911 call when I was driving to, when my son hurt himself. When I said, hey, I'm speeding, just so you know, leave me alone. That was crazy. Certainly. There's that one. There's the, let's see. There's the time I thought that the family was dead from carbon monoxide poisoning. There's the time that the neighbor's dog got out. And then there's this one. There's more than that. We could do an entire, like a you know how like radio stations used to do, it's Christmas time for the best of the so-and-so show. We could do Eric Zane's 911 greatest hits. Pellerito could do a bit where he goes, ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the greatest hits of Eric Zane on 911 calls. Certainly. Hey, your dog's out. Oh! So, all right. But this one was, it wasn't anything ridiculous there. I don't think. Some of you might think that there was. But so then I reached out to that dude and his wife's daughter who lives in the house. I go, look. And she goes, yeah, I thank you. She's like, thank you for helping them. I go, well, keep my number. And if you need, I'm always home. So if something goes down and you want, after they call 911 and you need someone immediately to help them, I'm right around the corner. Come call me. So hopefully that's cool. All right. She was very appreciative. The Eric Zane Show podcast, the Instagram. I want you to follow me on Instagram. Eric Zane Show is what you look for. And it's brought to you by the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Twitter, I'd love for you to follow me on Twitter, too. How about that? The Blue Frost IT Twitter handle, at Eric Zane Show. And on the almighty Facebook, brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Facebook.com/Eric Zane fan page. If you do listen to the audio of this podcast, just the downloadable audio on Apple Podcasts or CastBox or whatever, if you feel like it, there's always a live element. It records right around 8 o'clock every single day of the week. That is weekday, not weekend normally. And so that's how you do it. And when I do it live, I'm then recording everything I say. There's no edits. I don't edit shit unless if there's a long pause or something drawn out like that, or I'm struggling with something that's just like, it's too bad, or I say something overly racist. No, I don't. So that's just basically how we do it. No edits. Put it up there. Walk away from it. I was talking about podcasting. He goes, oh, yeah, well, we record, and then it goes into post-production. I'm like, post-production? What the fuck are you talking about, post-production? Yeah, well, I got to clean it up. I'm like, no, you don't. Just, first of all, be better. Second of all, it's just no big deal. Just quit spending so much time on that shit. Get it up there. People want to hear you. They want to hear you fuck up. That's the best part when you call yourself a dunce. All right. So this crazy schedule, as I talked to you about, of 24 hours in a day, 12 of it, I am sitting in a van. And I feel like the energy is good so far. You know, we're doing okay. This is another example of the Eric Zane what do you call it? Unrealistic or non-existent. I shouldn't have all this anxiety. These anxiety alarms that go in my head. I'm not kidding you. I was sitting there watching the Super Bowl, and I was like, what am I going to do? I've got to do the podcast, and I've got to do another job, and I'm going to be sleepy. I feel so stupid that I would ever experience any type of concern or anxiety that I can't do. I don't know what my deal is. This is going to be bad when I get to be 70. Be some serious medicine. Boy, these dogs, are you guys going to calm down ever? Are you serious? What a brawl they're having. These two are such best buddies. They have been doing this since Bruce was a wee lad, a teeny tiny French bulldog. We just brought him home 2 years ago, like the other day. I think February 1st, 2 years ago, is when that all got started. My gosh. All right. So today is back at it. I'll get this podcast done. I'll go reset 5 minutes later, start the Patreon podcast. Brian Post, one of the biggest pains in the asses, whom I love, is very, very helpful to me. He's like, what, no show notes today? No show notes so I can look at what... Dude, I told you, I'm cutting a little bit of corners to get all this shit done. It is a tremendous undertaking to put all this stuff up there. If you would just shut up for a second, and he goes, well, I didn't listen yet. I go, well, too damn bad. Just, you'll figure it out. Quit complaining. Why has everything got to be a complaint? If it doesn't work out for you, there's a reason for it. I'm crunched for time. Shut your hole. The Tom Brady thing. I was trumpeting that. Well, first of all, I was saying, oh, yeah, I made a bold prediction, and it's going to come true about Tom Brady. He's going to join the Tennessee Titans. Kenny sent me a link, and then I posted it saying, I'm just going to leave this right here because I know I'm right. There was a story about it was a rumor that Gisele Bündchen was seen at an exclusive private school for the Tennessee in Tennessee, in Nashville area. So everybody's like, oh, Tom Brady's going to the Titans. That's it. It's all bullshit. And this was spurred on by some idiot student that goes to the school. A kid caused all of this. This is what happened. Let's see. I talked to you about the rumor that Gisele Bündchen was seen at the school. She was never seen at a school. This is how it all got started. There's an attorney in Nashville who claimed that the rumor started because the wife of former Titans offensive lineman Steve Hutchinson was touring this school. The attorney on Monday on a radio station in town pointed out this attorney's son, who attends the school, was told that the school's admissions director was, quote, meeting with the Hall of Famer. The student saw Hutchinson's wife. Steve Hutchinson is a legendary former Titan, who is a tall blonde, and the student assumed that Hutchinson's wife was Gisele Bündchen. So, quite literally, a stupid idiot kid's brain pieced together things to create a false story. Headmaster says, Hall of Famer. A kid sees hot, tall chick. It's Hutchinson's wife. He assumes it's Bündchen. He goes around and starts to talk. My God. It says the story is goofy enough to be plausible, but the rumor has gotten fairly rampant, and it may be too late for the truth to get its foot into the top of a pants leg. Brady remains on track to be a free agent in March. Update. As of 11:20 last night, Titans reporter Paul Kaharski, who's clearly irritated by this story and wants people to quit talking about it, claims that Hutchinson's wife was not at the school, which whether Kaharski realizes it or not puts the Giselle rumor back in play. Oh, my God. That's crazy. Well, so what is it? What's going on there? If it's not her, who was it? All right, so let me just say this. Right now, I am off of the rumor bandwagon on Tom Brady going to the Titans. But if, however, he does wind up at the Titans, I get full credit for that. That means I predicted it, and I get full credit. Because I'm backing off of it right now. It seems ridiculous now. I feel like a stupid ass. All right. So, yesterday, the Iowa caucus went down. And they don't know who won the damn thing. This is like the kickoff to the election season. And all these Democrats have been working very hard and spending a lot of money to try to win this thing. If you win the Iowa caucus, then it kind of springboards you into the New Hampshire primary, which is in a week. And then we start all of these primaries. You remember in the last election cycle when Trump, when this all started to come into play, and Trump started to dominate those caucuses like he was, it was Trump had a certain percentage of the vote, and then everybody else combined didn't have as much. I mean, he was just dominant in those caucuses. I don't know if, or in those primaries, I don't know if he'll have a front runner for the Democrats this year, who is that far and away, but they do not know who won the Iowa caucus. I'm not entirely sure because I've only been piecing together information as to this, how this unfolded, but the evening should end late into the night with, one candidate is the clear winner, and then off you go. But I'm not sure exactly what happened. I think it was some a technical reason that they don't know. But all of these candidates are like, well, we don't know who won, and they still don't know who won. When I woke up this morning at 7:00, I looked at the news. There was no winner. I'm not even sure how it went down and why it is, and I don't want to get into all the boring details of it. But all I know is this: there is no winner right now in the Iowa caucus. So the first thing I thought of. This is going to spur all sorts of discussion from whatever party about voter tampering or election tampering. That is going to manifest before too long. Meanwhile, all these people are pissed off. What the hell is a caucus? Now, every 4 years, I try to pay attention to the story, and I still don't know exactly what it is. But I've gotten every time it comes around, I'm like, what is it again? Isn't there something where like these registered Democrats who are allowed to participate in the caucus, they go to Iowa, and each precinct, let's say you have 100 people in a room, they go, all right, this is the Mayor Pete corner, this is the Bernie Sanders corner. Go to your respective corners. I think it has something to do with physically walking to other sides of rooms and seeing who has the most people. That has something to do with it.
It all comes down to Iowa.
Probably Bernie Sanders.
Elizabeth Warren.
I'd say I'm undecided right now.
Nearly 30 candidates have dwindled to just 11, all vying to win the first contest in the nation.
We definitely feel like there's a responsibility with it, and we dig a little deeper, I like to think.
So why does Iowa matter?
So it's good.
It's all about electability. Candidates must prove they have what it takes to get a whole country behind them.
Hello.
It worked for Jimmy Carter back in '76 and Barack Obama in 2008.
Thank you, Iowa.
We're kind of like a yard sign for the rest of the country. When they see who can win here, it may increase folks' chances of voting for that candidate on Super Tuesday.
How does a caucus work? People gather at 1,600 locations, like schools, libraries, and indoor sports fields.
Step 1, they'll be able to check in person, or for the first time this year, check in online.
Yeah, it
Step
worked out
2,
great.
a representative for each candidate delivers a short speech. Then you pick your candidate, not by ballot, but by foot.
Each room
If I was like the guy to stump for Joe Biden, I'd say yes. All right, who cares about what he stands for? He says funny shit. So come on over here if you want Joe Biden. That's the first thing I would say.
This will be divided into sections. So, if you support candidate A, you'll stand with a group over there. If you support candidate B, you'll stand with a group over there. And then every single group will wait to be counted.
It's like a game.
But if a candidate gets
It's like
less
political
than
Red Rover.
15% of the people in the room, they're considered unviable. Caucus goers then have to pick one of the candidates who is viable and move to that group.
So let's say
Once
let's say you're with a candidate and they have less than 15%. That group of people with the unviable candidate, they must choose another candidate. Like, oh fuck, my guy sucks. I gotta go over to another one. So you gotta march over to the Bernie Sanders. Come on over here. All you Yang supporters, you now know your candidate sucks dick. You must come over to me right now. And so that would be great if they're like, say, come on over. If they actually have opportunity to like urge them or bribe them with like heroin or something.
everyone gets rearranged, they're counted again.
And it's that total that determines how many of the state's delegates go to which candidate.
I think caucus night is going to be absolutely crazy.
Here in Polk County, home to more than a quarter of the state's Democrats, party officials say they're expecting record-breaking numbers.
If we're not using every large space in Polk County, I don't know who is.
Lots of people
And voters say it's anyone's
Oh, these hayseed idiots.
game.
I think it could be 4, 5, 6 different people that could possibly win it.
Morgan Radford, NBC News, Iowa.
So I think I've helped you. I think that paints a clear picture as to how that thing works. Well, it didn't work for shit because right now they don't know who won the damn thing. How stupid is that? All right. More stuff. Let's see. Tonight's the State of the Union. This is all incredible. You got the friggin' caucus, which is a shit show, followed up 24 hours later by the president's State of the Union, and then the impeachment vote 12 hours after that. Oh, my God, this is incredible. The impeachment vote is pretty much a foregone conclusion. It, as predicted, it means it doesn't. He's going to be acquitted, and that will do that. That will be it, I should say. All right, Rush Limbaugh has advanced lung cancer. This is all kind of like in the vein of politics. So he announced it on his radio show yesterday that he has advanced lung cancer. The syndicated political talk show host. He's been doing this for 31 years to an unprecedented level of success. And beloved and disliked by millions of people. He is arguably the biggest radio star that has ever
Rush
existed.
Limbaugh, the EIB network. Ladies and gentlemen, this
I like how he's got this uplifting music while he's doing this.
one of the most difficult days in recent memory for me.
Damn it.
Because I've known this moment was coming in the program today. Now, I'm sure that you all know by now, I really don't like talking about myself.
Yeah, right.
And I don't like making things about me other than in the usual satirical, parodic, joking way.
All right.
I like this program to be about you and the things that matter to all of us. The one thing that I know that has happened over the 31 plus years of this program is that there has been an incredible bond that has developed between all of you and me. Now, this program's 31 years old, and in that 31, there are people, you hear them call all the time, and they've been listening the whole time. They've been listening 30 years or 25 years. Just had somebody say they've been here 3 years. But whatever, it is a family-type relationship to me. And I've mentioned to you that this program is, and this job is what has provided me the greatest satisfaction and happiness that I've ever experienced, more than I ever thought that I would experience. So I have to tell you something today that I wish I didn't have to tell you. And it's a struggle for me because I had to inform my staff earlier today. And I can't escape, even though people are telling me it's not the way to look at it. I can't help but feel that I'm letting everybody down with this. Wow. But the upshot is that I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer. Diagnosis confirmed by 2 medical institutions back on January 20th. First realized something was wrong on my birthday weekend, January 12th. And I wish I didn't have to tell you this. And I thought about not telling anybody. I thought about trying to do this without anybody knowing, because I don't like making things about me. But there are going to be days that I'm not going to be able to be here because I'm undergoing treatment or I'm reacting to treatment. And I know that would inspire all kinds of curiosity with people wondering what's going on. And the worst thing that can happen is when there is something going on and you try to hide it and cover it up, it's eventually going to leak, and then people are going to, why didn't you just say it? Why'd you try to fool everybody?
I think he's making the right decision.
I've known this moment was coming in the program.
Him doing that was a good move, and I think he sounded great in explaining to people what is up. You know, that's tough, and I think and I wish him nothing but the best, and anyone else who's struggling with this. And you know what's crazy about Limbaugh? First of all, let me just tell you this: this guy for 31 years has sat in front of a microphone and just talked. He has no guests. He very rarely has any guests. It's just him putting his own opinion and bent and angle on the news. And that has put him to incredible heights. He has never, ever dwindled in his popularity. It is unprecedented. It was kind of like a very rapid ascent, and then it's stayed there. Very few people who do what he does have that ability, and not only the ability, but the response from the audience that is so powerful. So, I mean, that is all the respect in the world I have for what he's done and in his career, and what he's done in explaining it right there. That's not easy. Anytime you show that type of what you just heard, that vulnerability, that true to life thing, and you're just in a room talking to a mic, talking to an empty room, and you know they're listening, but you're all by yourself and you're alone. Very, very difficult. But he just hit a home run, as he's always done. And I think, to me, one of the worst things that, it is happening right now, because the first thing I do most of the time is look at the comments. And I'm just blown away at the terrible things that people say when someone has a moment like this. And it's all good riddance. Thank God for cancer. I mean, people are actually writing this stuff, everyday Americans, and they're publicly proclaiming, ha, 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 you're going to die. And I think that is, I don't know how people do that. I've listened to Limbaugh for a period of time when I was working at Wood Radio, and I always thought, to me, it was like any blowhard political guy who was appealing to his base, but to ever equate any person, no matter what side they're on, in a way where you say, aha, you're gonna die. That, God, I can't imagine that. I being that wound up about anything, just because he's a very, very close friend of President Trump, and is always as conservative as they come in his in the things that he gets behind, and the fact that that's all it takes, and that means that people are saying, aha, you're going to die. That is a sick, twisted, demented, ridiculous thing. You should never, ever do that. It really, I couldn't believe it. Well, no, I can believe it, but shame on those people. That is not okay to say that about anyone. Aha, you're dead. Death is death. You don't need to make it any worse than what it is, and that doesn't mean he is going to die. But when you see advanced lung cancer, that seems screwed up to me. Limbaugh, lifelong cigar smoker. Maybe that's his undoing. Who knows? But I don't want to speculate or elaborate on just what I think about it. But all I know is this: Rush Limbaugh is at the tip top. Has always been at the tip top of people in the industry that I was in, and to some degree what I still do now. But in this very, very small platform, I give him tons of respect, credit, and I wish him and his family peace. And I hope that people that support him are okay with that. I mean, are okay with it, because some of you people are really, really bummed out. It's Stern and Limbaugh. That's it. I mean, that is 1 and 1A. They're interchangeable. The rest is everybody else, man. So that was just it was quite a shock. All right. As always, I've got a number of sponsors that are making it so that I can do this from my home every single day as my full-time job. And I would love you to engage the sponsors. First of all, don't forget about my friends at Franco's Pizza, an institution in Grand Rapids since 1975. Please order pizza from Franco's Pizza. Their number is 616-361-7307. Lunch today starts at 11. Dinner starts at 4:30. 616-361-7307 at Franco's Pizza. They got a full menu. It's not just pizza. Home of the 18-inch one-topping. Pick up only for just $14. Feeds 4 to 5. Henry Steffes, the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. That is the realtor of choice on the show. Their number is 616-293-8298. Go ahead. Bang on the door of however many realtors you want to interview. Just make sure Henry's part of that group, man. You're going to love him. The Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty, online at thesteffesgroup.com. One more sponsor to mention, but let me just tell you, the next thing I'm going to talk about is an update on the chicken that was in my yard the other day that caused all sorts of craziness. I'll recap the story quickly and then get to the latest information I have for you on Chicken Gate. Newest sponsor, one of the newest sponsors, is the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Call Mario if you need a mortgage, 231-332-6505. 231-332-6505. Mario, with what he does there at Van Dyke Mortgage, first of all, if he hears from the guy who's done nothing but had great experiences and has an unbelievably impeccable credit score, that means this is going to be a quick process for you because you've worked hard to keep your credit at that point, at that level. Good for you. Do go ahead and shop around your mortgage guy just like you would Henry Steffes, for your realtor, that is. Do it. Go ahead. See if they pass the sniff test. But make sure you give one call to Mario Flores. You're going to go to like Mortgage Company A, Mortgage Company B. Go ahead. Do it. But make sure Henry's or Mario's part of that at 231-332-6505. If you're looking for your first mortgage, this is the guy to call. Because he was probably, I know he was, in your boat where, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. So he's taken all that experience and made it so that all of the questions that you have are answered, all the anxieties, your credit's in the dumper. How the hell are you going to get any money? Van Dyke Mortgage, they're not a broker. They have the money. They're the ones giving the money, all right? 231-332-6505. Okay. Man. Yesterday, the story about when I was getting ready to do the podcast. It's so normal of a day. I've got Bruce right over here outside of this window that's behind this camera. And he discovers something that is alive. I thought it was a cat. Upon further examination, it turned out to be one of Schimmel's chickens. That's my neighbor. They've got a chicken coop, and the chicken was just sitting there on the air conditioning equipment and looking right at Bruce. And Bruce is like, I'm going to kick your ass. I've been waiting for this, motherfucker. But he was kind of like spooked because the chicken wasn't moving. So old Bruce is like, man, this is weird. He's supposed to be going crazy just before I attack him. Bruce didn't move. Diana comes down. I show her. She sees the chicken, this big black chicken. What is up with this chicken? Diana touches the chicken. Chicken goes bananas. You got to hear that story from yesterday, early on in the podcast. That was probably about a third of the way in. A funny story. Chicken goes ape shit, goes running down the street. O'Neill chases him back to Schimmel's house. Well, that chicken, Schimmel was looking for the chicken. Apparently shit went down at Schimmel's house, and all of the chickens were fucked up, and that one was so jacked, he made his way over to my house. Here's the email I got when I was driving limo yesterday from Schimmel's kid, Nick. Nick writes, hey, it's Schimmel. I almost shit my pants laughing this morning when I heard that story. It sounds like you found Big Black. We had a filthy rat bastard possum get into the coop. The fucker killed one of the chickens, killed and ate it, ate one of the white chickens, and then went after another one. The other one was going, rah, 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 and the possum attacked it and hurt it. It severely maimed it after gnawing on its head. Oh, my God, the possum. Same day, separate incident, Schimmel writes, a hawk swooped in the front yard and killed another one the same day. So all these predators are picking off Schimmel's chickens. So they were really rattled, and they scattered around not knowing where to roost for the night because of every time they turn around, there's another wildlife incident killing the chickens. So Big Black took off to my house. They all made it back last night except for the black one. Thanks for hurting her back. P.S. The possum did not make it out alive, Schimmel writes. Love the show. I'm kicking myself. I should have got his number so I could call him. I wrote back, holy shit, Schimmel. I'm so glad you listened. I feel bad for your chickens. Was Big Black injured at all? I couldn't really tell. She's fine. I believe just scared shitless. It's the black and white speckled one that's not doing the best, but I just saw all 5 of them walking through the other neighbor's backyard toward the tree line, enjoying the nice weather. Did you catch a possum in the act? What'd you do to it? Shovel? Schimmel says, yeah. We went running out when I shined a light in the coop. I got home late, so I was checking on the chickens. The idiot got into a brush pile before we could hit him with the shovel. I grabbed my .22 and shot the possum in the face after digging out the pile a little. Payback's a bitch. Ha, ha, ha. Oh, man. It's a little drama in the chicken coop. And that's, as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. All right, so what was going on in the Super Bowl? I didn't have in the halftime show. I didn't actually catch this part. I don't know if I was late to the party or what, but Shakira, at one point, she looks at the camera and does this weirdo noise thing going on. All right, it's on a loop. I don't know how to stop it. All right, you're like, what is that? What is that, Zane? And stop it. That is, a lot of people were like, what the hell just happened there? Everybody's talking about it. There was all sorts of memes. That is known as, and I saw it written down, but Zahruta. That is a nod to her Lebanese heritage. Zahruta, I think is how you say it. There was something specific about it. The random trill actually carried deep cultural significance to those familiar with Middle Eastern culture. The sound was akin to a traditional Arabic expression of joy and celebration called a Zahruta. It was also interpreted as a reference to the world-famous Carnival, which is held in Shakira's hometown in Colombia. If that's what the people in the Middle East do for joy, I'd put an axe in my wife's head if I heard her do that deal. That's like if somebody brings home a mail-order bride and from the Middle East, and then she starts to have an orgasm and does that. It's like it's all over at that point. Marriage over. You cannot do that anymore. Been a lot of stories about Andy Reid I saw about this guy, and his all of the years leading up to this big Super Bowl win for him is just couldn't have happened to a better guy. Everybody's just, I can't believe he got fired in Philly. Everybody seems to love him in Philly, but couldn't make it happen in Philly. Well, again, I always go back to you have a guy who has terrific success, leads the Eagles to the Super Bowl, does not win the Super Bowl, but a long string of success with them. There had to come a point when he gets fired from the Eagles, and then he winds up in Kansas City. Again, why did my team not hire him? I don't know where it was in the timeline, if it was Jim Schwartz or whatever idiot that they've brought into this shit show. We always get the garbage. We always get the idiot who can't do shit. All right. I've got an update for you on the coronavirus. Yes! And we will wrap the podcast up right at about 1 hour. The best I can do for you. Don't forget, I have Patreon too, by the way. I've got an update. There's a cop who's in deep doo-doo. He was caught on camera doing something in a kid's bedroom when he was supposed to be doing an investigation. That is not good. Let me just say this. Cameras are everywhere. And the idea that everyone, if bad guys know that there are cameras everywhere or think that there could be cameras everywhere, the bad behavior won't happen. Okay? Or not as much. And it seems like you can't do anything these days without a camera seeing it. Okay? The fitness experts on the show, Fit Body Boot Camp. There's 10 of them in West Michigan, all owned by the same people. Now, for the one nearest to you, go to fitbodybootcamp.com, and thanks to them for being part of the show. Bennett Flooring Installation, key sponsor of the program. Jacob and Jason want to install your flooring. First thing you do, you call them, 616-301-0157. Call them up. Say, look, man, I want hardwood in here. Okay. They're going to come to your house. do a measurement, give you some options. Before you know it, you're in business. We want carpet in this room. Can do that too. Laminate. Yep. Vinyl tile. They install it all. Ultimately, I want you to buy it from Johnson Carpet One. And ultimately, I want Bennett to install it. See, it's all merging together there. Bennett Flooring Installation. They are on Twitter at Flooring Bennett. Bennett Flooring Installation. 616-318-0167. I think I said that wrong the first time. Maybe not. But there, if you go to my sponsor scroll at ericzaneshow.com, click on the Bennett logo, take you right to their site. They posted some tweet the other day about, hey, this house, we pulled the carpet up and the floor underneath it is ruined by pet urine. This is your future, Eric Zane. It's like, shut up, man. Shut your mouth. Don't rub it in, all right? It's a trade-off. This is my crew. So shut your hole. Meanwhile, thanks again to Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550. Another key sponsor on this show. They're a managed IT service provider. By now, you know what that is. You better. Unless you're brand new to the show. Managed IT service provider for small and medium-sized businesses. Small and medium-sized businesses can have an IT department. All right? You don't have to worry about paying their insurance, though, making sure they get a parking card. You get on a monthly plan with Blue Frost IT, 616-200-8550. Your computer setup sucks. There's a reason why productivity is down. It's because all your tech blows. 616-200-8550. Okay, the mayhem for coronavirus was overshadowed in the last day because of impeachment, Iowa. I didn't see as many headlines cross, but there continues to be more people infected. But as this story proliferates, these people are going to eventually get better. And this will fade from memory like everything does. I still stand by that. Sure, a lot of people will be infected. Sure, some people will die, elderly, young. People that really just get knocked for a loop, all centered in Wuhan, China, a city about the size of New York. Big, big place. But there was a big deal made about the patient one in the U.S. who I think was in Washington, flew in from actually in frickin' Wuhan. This guy came from Wuhan. How would you like to be the guy who flies in from Wuhan and like, boy, I sure hope I don't get this virus, and then actually you actually do get the virus. You are the first guy to get the virus. That person has, I'm either going to say died or been released from the hospital. Been released from the hospital. That's good. Was hospitalized in Washington State. Will remain in isolation while he continues to recover at home. Unidentified man asked for privacy. He says, I appreciate all the concern expressed by members of the public. I look forward to returning to my normal life. Good call. I tell you what, if he had revealed who he is, all that stress of all that media, he probably would have croaked. His body would not have been able to fight that disease. He died. He was diagnosed with the new coronavirus on January 21. He traveled to Wuhan in November and December before flying home to the U.S. on January 15th. Health officials are closely monitoring 56 close contacts of the patient for any signs of the illness, which has the ability to spread from person to person. You realize there had to be one person who sat next to him on the plane. And that must have been an awful thing to wonder, man, I wonder if I'm going to get this. At some point, they're going to tell you, hey, by the way, the one guy who's got it in the U.S., first guy, you sat next to him on the entire plane ride home. Wow. All right. 10 other patients with confirmed coronavirus remain hospitalized in other states. I think this might be petering out. I don't know. In terms of the story. doesn't mean it's going away. It doesn't mean the virus is going away. It just means that people are losing interest. Again, news media is all about sensationalism and getting you to look at it. But, all right, and there's been a lot of talk about this hospital in China. Hey, look at this. The Chinese, man, it's 7,000 people. They built a hospital specifically for all of the folks who have coronavirus. My God, look at this. And you see this time lapse video of all of these cranes just kicking ass and building a story after story of this massive hospital, which will be able to keep hundreds, if not thousands, of patients in beds as they recover from coronavirus. That just seems really strange to me, because when we started to hear about coronavirus, it was, what, a month ago? Did they just start hearing about it a month ago? And then in that time, they made the decision to quickly build a hospital strictly for coronavirus? Or have they known this for extended time? You never know. I mean, China, everything's state-run. Coronavirus may have been like a thing for the past 5 years. And just now, didn't it start when somebody ate like live animals? There's one place where you buy shit in Wuhan. You can go walk in and go, oh, yeah, okay, man. It's like McDonald's. Give me a couple live bats. Oh, man, those finches look good. Can you give me a side of pigeon and maybe put some blood from a otter on it? That would be delicious. Oh, and some octopus brains. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm having a big party. If you can make sure that they're all alive, just cut their legs off and their wings off, and we're just going to cut them in half and eat them like hors d'oeuvres at our big Super Bowl party. Is that cool? That's how this all got started. So they build this damn hospital. How often have we heard about shitty, shoddy construction? You know, in China, I don't think it's like the good old U.S. of A. where you have the best of unionized work with top-notch construction crews and occupational safety health administration overseeing it, making sure that everything is done up in code, all that stuff. I'm guessing they just said, build it. And I don't care if it's, I mean, I'm guessing that the concrete isn't cured in 7 days, you know? I mean, you look at what happened to that Hard Rock Hotel in New Orleans where the thing collapsed, and I was talking with Mark, listener out there, who said, yeah, the guy that made that thing is known for this type of shitty work, and the concrete wasn't cured, and it pancaked down, and the guy's legs are sticking out of the building now. So, you know, part of me thinks that China, what they're doing there, this is China's way of getting rid of coronavirus. They're going to take every person in China and round them up, concentration camp style, and go, oh, yeah, go on to the new hospital. And then, you know, there's going to be one guy, probably the guy who is the president or whatever they call it there in China, who's going to pull one string, and the whole building is going to collapse down, and all these people with coronavirus are going to be dead in a second. That wouldn't surprise me at all if the kooks in China do it that way, because make no mistake, the Chinese are insane. If you've ever seen any documentary about what went down in Tiananmen Square, they don't give a shit about anybody that lives there. So I won't be surprised if we turn on the news and they say, oh, fuck, man. Crazy thing happened. It was an act of God that brought down this, I don't think the communists believe in God, but that brought down the hospital, and everybody who had coronavirus is now dead. So we're just going to drop a nuclear bomb on it or set it on fire, and that's it. No more coronavirus. It's all gone. It's all good. But that'll probably happen, and we won't even get the information because they actually won't let the information out. So, just my theory. You can't build something like that in 7 days and have it be safe. I don't have any fact to base that statement on. I'm making it sound like I am basing it in fact, like I am in fact an expert builder. I have no idea what I'm talking about, is what I'm telling you. All right. Patreon is next. Looking forward to that with you. I'm going to basically just reset, give myself a quick something to drink, and then back at it. That's how we got to do it. We're burning it at both ends. I appreciate any feedback and input you can give me on the show. My God, reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you have something you think I should be talking about that I might otherwise miss, you have no idea. I am entirely dependent upon you giving me leads and tips on stories that you think it would be a good story for me to kind of like plant my flag into and have an opinion about, or a rant or something like that. Hugely helpful. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. I do want to stress before I wrap this up that the Eric Zane Show Paintball War number 7, a little concerned because, we're sitting on only about 6 people, which is a bummer. I'm getting a lot of, hey, I'd love to, but I just can't do it. I already have plans. Thanks for the invite. So I would love to hear from you. Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you want to participate. Wednesday, February 12th at TC Paintball in Walker, Michigan, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to set you back $35. Send me an email, Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you want to join me. Okay? That is it. Wrapping it up. You people. Hey, man, tell you what, the sun's shining now, but I think it's going to get gray again, and that's bumming me out. It's been great here the last couple of days. All right. Wherever you are enjoying the podcast, however far behind you are, I'm just telling you, you are the best. Thank you. Keep it going. Spread the word. The Eric Zane Show podcast is better than your stupid, fucked up radio show where they just sit around and jerk each other off, whatever the hell it is. We'll talk to you down the road. Thank you. Bye-bye.